Hello and welcome to FNC Elections Edition. I'm joined by three very special guests in this two-part episode and they're going to introduce themselves now.
Hi, I'm Ash. I'm running for Enterprise and Employability Section Head.
I'm Pippa and I'm running for Action Section Chair.
Hi, I'm Maz and I'm running for RAG Section Chair.
Okay guys, first things first, what do you think about the exec restructure? Having, been looking at these roles for a couple of months thinking you might have been an EO, are you happy with the changes or what do you think?
I think it's a really important change actually, because by restructuring things it means that we can focus on our specific areas quite a lot. So although obviously the overall running of the union is really important, it means that we can really hone in on the things that we want to do in our areas.
Yeah, we can focus on like student engagement and things that really matter to us more and put more time and effort into that, which I think is going to be useful for us in the roles that we're running for.
I think not everything is relevant for us as well, so going to meetings that are about exec might not actually be relevant and we could be putting our time to better use in our sections. And
so themes guys, what themes has everyone gone for? Just explain for us.
Well, as my name is Ashleigh, I normally go by Ash, so I've obviously picked Pokemon because of Ash Ketchum. Ash for Enterprise is the same number of syllables as Gotta Catch 'em All.
It's actually really strange because mine's Pokemon related as well.
Love it.
But it's Pikachu, so like Pikachu but Pikachu.
Then we're
I thought I'd play on the small thing and
working
then,
together
yeah,
then.
we are technically
Yeah.
working together,
Wow.
but I think it's going to work in our favour.
Yeah,
I won't lie.
Fantastic.
mine's a little bit different. So my nickname is Maz and my theme is Madagascar.
Oh,
Like to move it. I'm not going to do the whole song because I'm going to embarrass myself. But
It's so funny on stage, like on results night. Okay. So we talk a little bit about your manifestos. We'll start with Ashleigh. So obviously enterprise and employability, it's pretty much in the name, it's two halves to a section. Yeah. Do you want to explain to everyone what you've done so far?
So I got involved with the Loughborough Enterprise Network in my first year when I was working on my own business. So I make protein brownies and sell them around the UK and even the rest of Europe now. But that got inspired by Leroux initially, and then I've worked through the Enterprise Network. I now go to the workshops in STEM Lab. But obviously as well, enterprise and employability isn't just about running your own business, it's also about developing skills. So the workshops I've been to have been very helpful for my university life as a whole, feeling more confident to present things and come up with ideas. It's been really fun being involved with it.
That's great. Pippa, what about your experience in action? What have you done in the past 2-3 years?
So it's actually my 4th year here, so I've been doing action for 4 years. I started doing a project called Kids Camp, which is taking young carers to the Peak District for a week. It's a really intense project, and I got involved with it for personal reasons, and I loved it, and now I'm the project leader for it, and I run all of the young persons projects. So I've worked my way up from being a department rep to a project leader to then being a committee member as well. So I've been involved in almost all sections.
It's really interesting you mentioned being a department rep because that's something you talk about in your manifesto, and we'll come back to that because I think it's relevant to all three of you, the growth of departments at the moment. But we'll move on to Maz. So RAG, you've just taken a year in industry.
yeah.
Do you want to talk about some of the stuff you did over that year?
Yeah, so I worked for an international charity which is called Hope for Children, and we actually work with Hope for Children here at Loughborough. We run the Kilimanjaro Trek, so they're an incredible charity, really, really small, and I just had the most amazing experience of going to different unis, learning about different RAGs and different fundraising groups, and building up so much experience, and then eventually going out to Tanzania and seeing one of the projects.
So Ashleigh, if you were to get not to get wronged, essentially, if you were to get the position, what would you like to do in your year as being enterprise and employability section head? What would you want to improve?
Something really, really tangible, a goal I want to achieve, is having a student shop. So there's all these ideas that students have, and I think it's really good at the moment in the Loughborough Enterprise Network in getting people to start and kind of go through and develop their ideas, but then there isn't a platform to showcase it to other students. And what better place to showcase students' work than in the Students' Union? So having a shop somewhere physical that people could go in and buy other students' products, that would be really cool.
That's really cool, because obviously at the moment we have little pop-up stores that happen in the piazza.
They're very, very temporary, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you can tell that they're temporary, and they're only there for maybe 1, maybe 2 days, and that's it. But how much better would it be if you could have stock in an actual shop?
So obviously Enterprise and Employability has a lot of individuals doing really good work. How would you want to support those individuals sort of in their personal development, as well as their physical support they might need for their own well-being?
So obviously running a business is quite taxing. You're doing a degree at the same time. Starting a business might be something that is better off for after you graduate, so you need to make sure that everyone have the skills now while they're at university. And if they want to start their businesses now, you need to make sure that their well-being is looked after as well, because obviously it is an extra thing to look after and keep check of, so everyone needs to be supported through that as well.
Yeah, Pippa and Maz, both of you talk about similar things in your manifesto. Pippa, do you want to hop in here?
Yeah, so I think support for like people of responsibility within our section is really important. So obviously you have I guess you have a very similar thing, that we have like a committee, and then we have project leaders and hall reps and department reps. Being a section head this year, I've noticed that sometimes my project leaders struggle, and there's things that I wish that I could do for them, and it'd be nice to try and put in a support network so that the section heads know what to do when someone's struggling, and a way for them to almost step aside from their responsibilities, so that there's support there, that the project won't fall or they won't have to worry about it, and that they can still get on with their degrees, because at the end of the day a degree comes first, and that's what we're all here to do.
Definitely. Maz, what about in RAG? Is there any parallels you can draw? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I think just like trying to juggle so many things at university is so difficult anyway. Like, your degree is already so difficult. So I think definitely having things in place like training for like our hall representatives that are out in halls doing obviously the great work is really, really important. And I think having that support of like one-to-one meetings that we don't have at the moment is so important, because that's when we'll be able to see, you know, when they are struggling, when they do need that extra support. Because realistically it's still volunteering at the end of the day. They're giving their time and they need that kind of support, I think, from us as section heads and from our committee as well.
So Maz, what do you want to go forward and do with your year? Similar to what I just asked Ashleigh, you know, what are the issues there are at the moment, and how do you want to solve them?
So one of the big things at the moment, I think, is to do with fundraising, specifically in individuals. We have obviously the core charities that we work with, so like breast cancer, if people have seen that on like around campus and things like that. But I think a big thing for me is encouraging individuals that, you know, they can fundraise for charities that they want to fundraise for. They don't have to just think, oh, I should stick to the ones that Loughborough have chosen, because that's not what RAG is about, really. So it's kind of facilitating that fundraising, giving them ideas, fundraising support, but giving them the chance to get into contact with those charities, being that kind of middle person between the charity and them as well.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you potentially the devil question for RAG at the moment: raids. Yeah. Do you want to explain firstly what a RAG raid is for those who might not know, and then we can talk about what some of the issues have been recently?
So basically a RAG raid is when we go to a city or a tube station and we just collect money for charity. So we stand there with our little buckets and we just kind of shout at people, well, not at people, but, you know, ask people for change and donations, and sometimes we wear costumes. And
well, you said just then you asked for change. Obviously cash is a big thing at the moment, where we're not carrying around it anymore. Everyone's got their phones or their cards. What would you like to do to sort of increase engagement rates with the public when you're on raids?
So we've had quite a few raids where the charities have given us contactless machines, and they're really good because people will walk past and they'll be able to just tap their card. It's really, really nice and easy, and it does get a lot more money than we would have originally got. So I think trying to find maybe a sponsor or someone who could donate just at least 1 or 2 of these machines would be such a huge difference. Obviously they're quite expensive.
It
so
seems like something the Enterprise network could really help with. Yeah.
Nice link, isn't it? It's almost like that was planned. Obviously, speaking about links, Pippa, you mentioned about links with enterprise and employability as well, I think, in your manifesto. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so you might have seen about the soup kitchen. We did 12 weeks of soup kitchen as a massive thing at Christmas, where we tried to push for people to sponsor it to get the money in for the food for the homeless people over the winter period. And then we've expanded it so that it's all year and people can anonymously donate or departments donate and things like that. And Enterprise really helped us set that up, and without them we wouldn't have been able to do it, but it's given us a way to use our budget more effectively for other projects that we can't get support for, because people care about homeless people care about the people that they want to help.
Pippa, obviously you've been in the section for 4 years now, like you said earlier. If you could give something to your past self, what would you give to that sort of first, second year?
So I think this is like a big point in my manifesto, that I want to create a welcome to action pack. So it's going to be designed mostly for people in positions of responsibility. So the committee and like the department reps, the hall reps, all people like that, to give them a guide as to what to do and how to do it. There's a lot of expectations from people when you first start. When you first become a project leader, they're like, run your project, and it's hard. You don't know what to do, you don't know where to start, what skills you need, or who you should talk to. And this is going to be a kind of guide that's going to have everything in, from how to write a risk assessment to how to use a complicated email system that we have to make sure that you don't break any GDPR rules, to safeguarding and things that really matter, to making sure that the projects run smoothly. I've been speaking to like some previous committees from Action, and a few of them had like little bits that they did. I know there was an equalities and diversity handbook, so it's going to be kind of building upon ideas like that, so that everybody has the same basis and the same understanding when they start in the roles. I mean, it's going to be available to volunteers as well if they want to know if they're considering running for positions later in the year and stuff as well.
So obviously hall reps and department reps are a really important part of getting people involved in Action. What do you want to do to increase general involvement across the university and the union?
So I think our biggest problem is that most of our volunteers come from halls, which isn't a problem as such, but we want more. We want more people from different backgrounds because they bring different skill sets, they're better at different projects. So basically at the moment what we do is a bi-monthly departments take over A-teams project. Which is when the department get all of the hall projects and they can engage more people through there. So kind of giving them a stronger media push to be able to have that as a thing so that more people know about it. And I also kind of want to try and find a way to increase people's engagement after Pick a Project Night. A lot of people sign up and then they never check their emails again. And we also lose volunteers in the fact that we set up Facebook groups, and then everyone that signs up after the time that we set up the Facebook group no longer gets an invite. So trying to find a way maybe to put like a button to join the Facebook group instead of sign up would make it easier. But it's a thing that me and Joel have been talking about. I'm going to try and talk to marketing about putting in there.
Okay, so it'd be something on the website, the LSU website, that you'd be able to access.
Yeah, so that more people can get involved no matter what time of year it is, because that's our problem, is that we have a massive recruitment event at the start of the year and then nothing. So it's meant to last us a whole year, but it's difficult.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I think RAG have similar problems where people come to choose a challenge night at the start of the year, but people who want to get involved, in sort of March, April time find it quite difficult to. Do you have any plans to sort of combat that, if that makes sense?
So our main source of how we get participants is through our halls reps. So they're a big source of actually getting people interested in RAG at the start, and then to allow them to sign up for different things like raids. So I think definitely supporting our halls reps is going to be a massive thing. Giving them fundraising advice and tips that they can do in freshers is a big thing, because freshers are so keen to get involved with everything. That's our prime time really, and for Action really as well. So I think giving that support, giving those ideas right from the start really.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Tune in to our next episode where I'll be interviewing the Societies candidate and the AU Clubs Officer candidate. But for now,
thank you. Please vote for Ash for enterprise and employability. And in the meantime, if you want to speak to me about any business ideas, just hit me up on Instagram.
I'm Pippa, please vote for me for Action. We have a joint event actually on Sunday in EHB. If you want to come and ask us any questions about our manifestos or grill us in general, we're welcome to it. And you can message me or find me around anywhere around campus the next week.
And I'm Maz, so please vote for me for RAG. We also have our manifestos online, so if you want to give them a bit more of a read. And there's an email at the bottom there, so if you have any questions. And the event is on at 1 till 3, we believe. So there will be a Facebook event if you want to just add yourselves onto that.
Most importantly though, guys, make sure you're voting. If it's for one of the candidates or it's for Ron, make sure you use your vote wisely. See you again soon. Bye.
That wasn't too bad, was it?
No, that was actually fine.
It was, yeah.
You're very nice.
You're so good at just making up questions. Like, you're just like,